Hmm. Hi everyone, Beckie Belote here. I'm a creative memories advisor in Newport News, Virginia. And today I'm going to show you a really cool, easy trick that I think you're going to like. It's going to allow you to get more out of your border maker system. All right. Um, as far as borders using the border maker system, it can't be any longer than 12 inches long. So that makes it tricky if you want to do it on the diagonal of a triangle, because most of, if you want to do a full big triangle, you can do smaller ones, of course, but if you want to do a big full triangle with that hypotenuse, your leaning side on a right triangle is longer. So there's my little math nerdiness coming out, but it's a little bit longer. So if you have a 12-inch tall triangle, that leaning edge is taller than 12 inches and it's not going to fit in the tray of the border maker system. So I'm going to just show you a little hack for doing that because it's a really pretty look. And so anyways, I hope that you'll like it. Before I do, just a reminder, we came out with some really cool organizer pieces this weekend, and you're gonna like actually on Monday and you're going to really like them. One of them is one of the inserts that fit into our large totes. In fact, if you have the large pod, two of those will fit in it. So if you have a lot of paper, you may want two of the actual inserts if you want to organize in the large pod. And I think you're going to really like that system. So the pot alone is like 19, and I'm kind of making these up off the top of my head, but I'm about right on that. Okay. And then the files, last year, if some of you took advantage, we had a very similar promotion this time last year. It only had 12 files. So all your reds went in one, all your blues went in one. So now what they've done, instead of 12 files, you get 25 files. So that's a lot. And so our colors can be more distinguished. And they're just folders. I keep saying files, but they're actually, I keep saying folders, but they are, I don't know what I'm saying. Sorry, but I can't remember now. But anyways, they're just going to divide your paper within those pods. So, and in fact, you don't even have to write on the tab white, pink, because the tab already matches the color that you're going to throw the paper in. So it makes it super easy to identify them, super easy to set up. You just throw the files in there in whatever order makes sense to you. I know some people like rainbow order, reds, oranges, yellows, Some people like alphabetical order, whatever you like. You can put the files in whatever order, okay? So those are around $22 for the set of 25. And then they're going to give, if there's another thing that they're offering, is one of each of those paper colors, including four paper colors that are not yet available. All right. So you get one sheet of all the colors to match those five folders. And the four that aren't available yet, you're going to get two of those. Okay. So really cool deal. I think that's 29 pieces of paper for 29 bucks. All right. And so anyways, we'll just get you started to keeping it organized. And of course, I'm sure you have other papers that you can merge in. And let's say you had a limited edition color, just identify what color it is and then put it in the file that is most appropriate. That way you'll be able to find it. So anyways, things like that help make things simpler. The paper pack already says 29. You can get the whole bundle, I want to say, for $70.50. And so you can get extra pieces if you want extra pieces of it. All right. So I wanted to let you know about that. Also, I'm really excited. I'm not really ready to show you today because I am waiting for my limited edition border punch organizer. All right. So those would be organizers for our punches that look like this. And the entire shipment didn't come in. So advisors were able to order one. And then when the rest of the shipment comes in, we'll all be able to order them. But each of those little beauties, they have the foam in it to keep these in it nicely. So I think you'll be able to put 12 of them in one of these cases. So they're not going to be too heavy. They're going to be separated with the little foam stuff, and it's going to help protect our punches and our backs. So we won't be carrying too much. So that's going to be new, which means you can pull those out of your tool organizer and save your tool organizer for ones that look like this. And so what that means is if you store them like this, you'll be able to see the icons very easily. You won't have to multi-stack, which is risking our punches. That's how they get damaged. We're stacking too much on them. I know some of them have had a manufacturer defect, and with those, the company has been so lenient. Um, but we need to take better care of them, and this is one of the ways. And so, anyways, I think you'll like this. These are going to fit very nicely in the current ones that you have. And they also came out with some new trays, and I wasn't sure. So when I say trays, trays for the, let me slide this over. This was kind of an impromptu, like I didn't, sometimes I don't know what it's about. I do know I'm going to show you a really cool tip for scrapbooking because you all like those. But I also want you to know what is available right now to place your orders. All right, so this one, this is here. I can't do that. Go ahead and bring this over. So this is the one that holds your border maker cartridges. This now is available um in just an empty tub. So it's not going to be the rainbow, but it's available in an empty one of these that's exactly the size. And now you can get the foam trays that look like this. So this one is designed to hold the actual tool. It's designed to also hold this guy. And then it's designed to hold two layers of these border maker cartridges. All right, so the inserts are going to be available separate from the actual case now, but the actual one of the actual cases that you can get is totally empty, ready to just throw the organizers in. Until then, really, it was not quite cost effective recently when we sold out of the other, and you were paying for the dividers that came in the other one when you really didn't need them. All right. So now this is an empty one ready to drop these trays in. A new thing about the trays is you can order the trays so that they don't have space for these. In other words, if you have a lot of border maker cartridges, and I know some of you have a problem with these, and you have lots of these cases, then you don't really need this particular tray over and over again. And so the new trays look like your bottom one. Okay, so they don't have room for these. And what I have been told is that three of these layers will now fit in if you don't put these things in them. Okay. So you may, depending on how many of these you have, you may want to double up, get some extra of these inserts trays. So hopefully that makes sense. Those will all of those things that I talked about are going to be under the what's new tab. All right. So I hope that's helpful. They also came out with for our scrap journals. We have some new happy albums that are now called scrap journals. Um, and they have basically a simple kit for those where it will have the cutting lines to make a really fast double page spread or a few using something called Wildflower Collection. So go check that out if you're on the What's New tab. All right. So thank you for listening to that. I appreciate you. If you find yourself buying a lot of Creative Memories products, please consider joining as being an advisor. Most of us started as advisors, as scrapbookers that were just kind of maniacal. I don't even know if that's a word, but we were crazy about our supplies. And so very many started that way. I didn't start that way, all right, but most people do. They start. In other words, I needed a job. I wanted to really desperately wanted to stay at home with my little one, and doing this was a way to be able to quit my job and stay at home. So I was kind of different than most people. But if you have a habit, it's a great way to get a discount, great way to be able to write off a lot of things as long as you have a customer. Okay, you have to have a customer. So it doesn't have to be 1,500 customers. It doesn't have to be 17 customers, but you have to have a customer to be able to have some write-offs. So I just want to make that plain. It is a business. It's only 49 to join, and you get 50 and free for doing it. So they pay you a buck. If you have any questions about that, I would love to answer them for you. I know 7 871 4546. I recommend that you text me first so I don't think that you're a spammer. Okay. 757-871-4546. Would love to answer your questions. If you have somebody you're working with in Creative Memories, please reach out to them too. Okay. Thanks. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to change my screen. I'm going to put this really cool whale tail punch back. If you don't have that one, that's a good one to get. And let's see what we can do now. I know my thing is going to be all messed up because I played with it. That's not a problem. I'm a professional, right? All right, let's put it here. All right, so what we're going to do, this is super easy. Take a piece of paper. You don't have to like both sides. And we are going to cut it at the 4-inch 2 times. All right, the reason I chose 4-inch to practice this with is when you use one piece of paper and you're using 4 inches, you have this 4-inch here that makes great mat. So I'm going to cut it here so that you'll remember the third one is a scrap, or you can cut it to have 2 4x6 mats. Okay. All right, so this paper came from Craft Taffy if you like it. Craft Taffy is a really pretty paper pack. All right. Okay, so then what I want you to do is fold like sides together. That's very important. And then I want you to either use your ruler or your mat. So I'm going to put this down on my mat so that it's in the corner properly. You're going to grab a pencil or a pen. And on the side, what I'm doing, I want a diagonal. If I were to cut this on a diagonal, the diagonal would not fit properly in my border maker, okay, because it's too long. This diagonal is longer than this. All right, so I'm going to make it a little shorter. So I'm going to put a dot. So we don't want to go to this top corner. We want to go 1/2 inch down. So that's one line down. All right, and then over here, we want to go an inch over. All right, so that is here, 1 inch over. And what we're going to use our trimmer for is to cut from this dot to this dot. All right, so let's do that together. All right, so I am putting this, let's see, I am putting this dot in the track, the cutting track, and I'm going to put this dot in the same cutting track. The cutting track, you have 2 tracks, and the cutting track on your trimmer is the track that's closer to this ruler. Okay. So if in doubt, that's the one you're going to. Let's double check and make sure that it's going to go through that dot on both the top and the bottom. All right. And then we are going to cut. Now, because I am using pen, I cannot erase. So it is really smart to use pencil when you do this. I'm only doing it so that it's more obvious for you to see. All right, so then I'm going to take the bigger of the two. Oh yeah, I did it. Yeah, I did cut. All right, so it's barely even noticeable that here's a flat edge right here. Okay, barely even noticeable. But this is the one that we're working with, the smaller triangles. Put them aside for a moment. And at first I thought I made a mistake, but I didn't. It's not very dramatic, is it? But now it's going to fit in our trimmer. I mean, in our border maker. All right, so I'm going to grab the border maker. Now we're going to talk about which border maker cartridges are going to work nicely with this. So you want to grab border maker cartridges that you like that do not fall off of the piece of paper. The way I can tell whether they fall off of the piece of paper or not is the configuration around the actual punch. So if you look at this one, for instance, clearly there is no solid lines. This is opened all the way around, whereas this one has a nice solid bottom, and that means it's going to hold on to the paper at the bottom of the punch, and this part's going to cut off. All right, this one can see how there's space all the way around. Now let's contrast that to this one. You see how that's got a solid on the top and the bottom? It actually does drop off at the top, but it holds on the bottom. Take a look at this one. This one you can see is coming off the top. It's solid at the bottom. Here's one. See how it's here? All right, so now we're comparing the difference, and I'm going to grab one, and this is where you are going to you're going to answer a question. Okay, we're going to take a little quiz, and you don't have to put your answers in the chat, but if you do, it makes me feel important, like you're really listening to me. So in the chat, tell me, does this one go in column 1 or does it go in column 2? Go ahead and answer that question. Okay, so if you said column 2, you are accurate. All right, let's try one more. What about this is a really actually I'm pulling off some really good ones. These are some of my faves. All right, and then what about this one? Hopefully you're putting it here because we've got a nice solid edge there. So anyways, I hope that helps. We want to work with ones that look like this. All right. So let me get these out of my way. I think I've done examples with all of these except for the linear. So I think I'm going to use linear for this example. And that way we'll know whether it works or not. So far, everyone that I've done has worked, so I feel pretty confident about it. All right, so what we're going to do is open up our border maker tray so it snaps into place. Then we're going to take both of our triangles just to save time. Now, if this was cardstock, you may not want to do it on cardstock. You may get a jam, but it's going to work beautifully with this. And what we want to do is we want the nice flat edge. So the flat edge is going to start down here at the bottom. And you can see that at the top, that bit that was not cut is going to hang over the edge, and that's fine. And down here, it looks kind of funny too. All right. Down here, it looks kind of funny because this bit is not falling in the tray. So it's a very subtle problem. But it's going to work beautifully. Now look what it looks like when you open it up. Doesn't that look kind of ridiculous? All right, but this is going to work beautifully. You're going to love this. All right. So let's take the zebra out. Zebra is one that I tried. That one worked nicely too. All right, so we're going to do the tool like we always do. We're going to line up this little nodule to this little nodule, and we're going to go right on down. Line them up, go right on down. Okay, it works beautifully. We're going to get all these scraps out of the way. I don't need those. And then I'm going to grab a piece of paper so that you can see what kind of magic we just did. Oh my goodness, piece of paper flew out of the way. No, I am not raising my own hand. I know for whatever reason, my hand always goes up when I teach. All right, um, so for your beautiful cut pieces, you have different things that you can do with them. They are right triangles, so they are going to fit nicely in corners. Oh, my color's not showing very well. Let me see if I can fix it. Come on, baby. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. I need a professional. All right, so we're going to scoot that there, but this is a really pretty piece of yellow. You also could do the other side. And what I like to do with these pieces, you can use them either direction. Come on, come on. All right. You can use them in either direction. You can use them so that it's a contrast and then tuck it over here. Or if you want all the same color, you could do it the other way. Hopefully the rest of mine is not going to come out like this. I need some help. Why is this happening to me? Don't know. But anyways, so that's that one. So let's look at some others. Hopefully the others will come out prettier. I'm not very hopeful, because the color is just not working. You noted you have spoken. I'm going to go to give me just a second and see if I have some kind of video setting that's going this up. Mm, so this has been happening a couple weeks now. Yeah, I just don't see anything that's causing it. And I haven't changed anything. So I don't know. I have to get somebody to come look at it for me. I'm sorry, everybody, because I want it to be pretty for you. All right, so this is one that I did with Legacy of Love. These are the smaller triangles. And then this one I did with the zebra stripe. This is what the paper looks like. And you can put them in different places. So like I could put it up here. All right, and then these again, you can put them anywhere you want, and that's kind of pretty, isn't it? Or you can put they're right triangles, so they'll fit anywhere. I love this actually. Okay, so that's a look. All right, and then here's notebook. So here's a different look. We're gonna put it in the middle. If you want to use the back. This, by the way, is called Adventure Parks. This piece of paper still available if you like the bright primary colors. They look great for will look great for um your vacations to amusement parks and so forth. These are looks like ticket stubs, and we actually have a punch called admission ticket. Do you like that? So that's the notebook border maker cartridge still available. In fact, I'm showing everything that's still available. I'm curious, what would this look like? Oh, look at that. So we have another option for those triangles. We could throw it right back in that space. This one is a little busy, but let's play with some of the others. All right, so that's good. All right. I did it with, this is probably one of my favorites. Now on this one, this is pyramid. Um, to be honest, I can't remember the name of this, but it has the word pyramid in it. Pyramid diamond, maybe something like that. When I did this one, I actually didn't do a half an inch. It probably would fix itself if I did a half, you know how I did a half inch here and a full inch down here. I have a hunch because I started doing them that way. I have a hunch if I had done it the way I did it, showed you today, that wouldn't happen. But I wasn't worried about it because I know that I could snip that off. All right, so I'm not worried about that, not one bit. I'm just gonna snip it right off of there and show you how pretty this one is. Another pretty look. This one, I'm not confident where this one came from, what line. Let's do it like down here because we haven't done that yet. How pretty that is. And then it has this for the complement. We can throw that right in that space. Let me show you closer so maybe the color will straighten itself out. Pretty. All right. Or again, this is kind of a neat look. So lots of options, lots of looks. All right. And then I did it with poinsettia, but when I did it with poinsettia, again, I have this notch. Again, I started doing this with a different measurement. I don't think that would be a problem, but again, I wasn't worried. I knew that I could cut that off. All right. And um what I did this time is I forgot to fold like colors on top of each other. So if you're an advisor and you are not paying attention to the trip qualifications, you should probably do that. Have had people on my team realize at the very last minute that if they had worked just a tad harder, they could have earned the trip. And I've had people at the very last minute that I pointed out to that they actually earned the trip, you know. So please pay attention. And if you are somebody that is considering this as a business, please know you are helping somebody earn the trip. Okay. So consider that. It is a lot of fun, and then you can be in on the trips in the future. All right. So this actually is that album that I told you about. I'm going to go ahead and show you this double page spread. So you can see that I use cyclic circles on this one. Super pretty. The triangle, not as apparent. It's down here. On this particular one, I wanted to wait and show you this here. On this particular one, the little pieces of trash that come out, you can put them back in. So I'm going to grab my precision point and just throw some adhesive in these circles that you can't see because they're on top of that triangle that's the same color. And I'm just going to throw some of these dots back in. I got a piece of my hair on that one. All right, let's see. These were all kind of variegated colors, so they're not going to match, but they're going to match enough. I think they're going to be pretty. And it kind of adds a little something, something, I think, don't you? All right, and I could put more in if I want to, but I think I'm just going to do that many. All right, so super, super pretty. I hope you like it. And while I'm at it, uh, a lot of you are really good at using peekaboo pockets. Most of you use the 4x6 size. I like to always remind you that we also have smaller sizes. So this is a 4x4 size, which is one of my favorites because most photographs can be cut in the 4x4 size. This is my very good friend Mandy. She's a teammate from Colorado and she's amazing. All right. But anyways, you typically can cut off 2 inches off a photo in one direction or 1 inch from the top or 1 inch from the bottom. And if you can do that, and all of your photos that are going to go in the peekaboo pocket can be done that way, it's going to fit perfectly. Now, the reason I'm showing this, I know I showed peekaboo pockets recently, but the reason I'm showing it again today is because the tab punch, which is one of my favorite little guys for doing this stuff, this one is available now for half price. So it is typically $29 and it's going to be $14.50. No, it's typically $25. It's going to be $12.50 this week. So it's a great time to get this little guy. If you love peekaboo pockets, it's a no-brainer. And you're going to want to pick, you can pick whatever color you want. My intent was to grab this color, which I had a piece somewhere and now I don't see it. Boo. So let's pick another contrast. Um, I'll just go ahead and use this one so that I don't waste your time. But after you leave, I'm going to find that piece of paper because I did want a contrast. I did want this color here to contrast it. But anyways, all you do is use the tab punch to cut this out. You go ahead and I would use regular adhesive. I don't have that in my hand right now. We're going to use Repo. And you're going to go ahead and actually we're going to put it on both sides. And then you're going to go ahead and stick it down and fold it up. Actually, I usually kind of fold it first and then put it in. And then what you can do is you can write on this lift or whatever you want. And then way it makes it very apparent that that is a peekaboo pocket. And they know when they get there that this is something that you're supposed to lift to see what's underneath. All right. So if you don't have the tab punch, to me, this is a good one to have. Again, when they put them on half off, it means they're not going to be around much longer. So you should really take advantage of it if you like it. All right. So that's all I got today. I appreciate you watching. And I'm sorry about my lighting. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. I really need to pay attention to it. As soon as I get done with this, I get going with life. And by next week, I'm like, oh, I didn't fix that yet. So, I need to ask somebody about it. But thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I hope that you got this tip and I hope that you'll run with it. It's really simple. And have an amazing week. And we will see you next Tuesday. Oh, by the way, we have a weekender bag. It was an advisor exclusive. And so you can't get it yourself, but your advisor can. And I'm going to do a quick video on that, I think, sometime this week, maybe tomorrow. So if you want to see what that is all about, since you can't see it any other way other than through your advisor, be happy to show you why I love it. It's a great, great bag. If you don't get it now, and they should sell out relatively soon, then you will not be able to get one until the new year. They're going to come out later. Okay, so great time to snatch one up. Thank you for watching. My website is www.creativememories.com/user and then my name, which is Becky, spelled like Beckie up there. And my last name is Belote, Belote. All right. If you're not working with an advisor, I sure would love your support. This is my full-time business. This is all I do for an income, and I really appreciate